What's up, everybody? It's Rob coming live from the home studio, home office in Claremont, California. We need everything to be positive right now, okay? So no negative feedback at the moment. We're already hearing enough on that on social media, CNN, Fox, everything out there, okay? So what we want to touch upon today is the reality of what we're dealing with right now, okay? Majority of the people that I'm talking to are my age, around my age or above. Okay, so if you're somewhat in the real world and dependent, okay, this information should be useful, okay? The question is right now, how are you going to look on the other side of all this going on, okay? So I would even get a pen and pad ready just so you can look over these notes. We're gonna go through the stages of change and loss, okay? So number one would be denial, shock, waiting for good news. Okay, the sooner you can accept this, the sooner you can start taking appropriate action on what needs to happen right now. Okay, so the whole denial thing of what's going on and moving as if things aren't going to change, this is absolutely going to change history as we know it. Okay, economy, jobs, how people are going to be conducting business, even the business that you're in right now, things, even if they're not changing right now, which I doubt, they will change because nobody was ready for such an intense moment to happen like this. Okay, number two would be people and environment. Who you surround yourself with is going to guarantee how you're going to come out on the other side of this and how you're going to make it on the other side of this. Right now, I would completely suggest not doing this by yourself. Okay, and when I mean by not doing this by yourself, I'm talking about whatever plans that you have right now, thoughts, etc. Make sure you're on board with people who are trying to see the reality of this and move forward properly. Hire a mentor, hire a coach, okay, so you can be accountable for what's going on right now. Okay, so that if you're asking where should I invest some money that I have right now, that would be it, in a coach or a mentor. Okay, so you can learn more, so you can have more wisdom and be accountable for what you're doing right now. Number three is depression. Okay, succumb to the situation, hiding underneath the sheets and finding a way to get out of it. Okay, that's not gonna help right now. Whatever you need, if you got to talk to somebody, if you got to meditate, whatever the case is, depression, of course, it's a serious situation, but if you're depressed because of this moment right now, it's not the time. You've got to be more strong-minded right now, okay, especially if you have a family, because the person that you are, people feed off that energy. If you have a family, mom, dad, whatever the case is, whatever your energy is out there, that's how they're going to reciprocate that, and you're going to have an effect on them too. So be liable for that. Now, number four would be acceptance. Okay, to get out of a contraction, you need to have an acceptance of the current situation. Okay, because I know the faster you can get through acceptance of the reality of the situation, the less pain you're going to endure. Okay, so accept what is going on right now. Okay, you don't want this to be some type of shock down the line. Accept what's going on right now and start taking appropriate action towards making something out of this and having a blueprint. Unfortunately, think of the worst case scenarios right now. I hate to say it like that, but think of the worst case scenarios right now. You might have to borrow money from the government that you have to pay back. You might have to get rid of the car you have. You have to take into consideration of possibly you can get the virus. This isn't to be negative. It's being optimistic yet realistic at the same time. Because God forbid any of this does happen, you don't want to enter into a stage of shock if any of this does happen, because that'll cripple you from moving forward. Okay, this is going to cripple you from moving forward and creating positive momentum. So really take into consideration of that. And a person who is level-minded and understands the real world, you should understand both extremes. The greatest things that can happen and the worst things that can happen. And we'll all remember this, 2020. You know, everybody is going to remember this, and everybody should try to learn something from this. Even if you don't want to learn something from this, you will. The only people who shouldn't truly feel this are children. We're going to go through 6 types of characteristics in people that you'll come in contact with, okay? So the first one are the people who are passive. They're doing nothing and waiting for more news. Okay, you don't want to be that person. You'll spot them because they're the people who are going to continuously be consistent with more news. Number two is the spectator, who's going to watch the news, the social media, and they're going to be drowning in information. Okay, that's the spectator, just going to be drowning in information. Also, the people who fall back and retreat. The people who fall back and retreat. So don't fall back and do nothing and wait. See, me and my team right now, we're falling back and we're revisiting the drawing board. Okay? So we're falling back and not retreating. We're falling back and revisiting the drawing board to have a new plan of action to attack and move forward. So it's okay to fall back, assess the situation, and then move forward and attack. Figuratively speaking, attack. And also another one, number 4, would be the victim. The victim is self-explanatory. Okay. Number 5 would be those people, the cheerleaders with the pom-poms. Okay. Everything's going to be fine. It's all okay, but have no plan of action. Have no real plan of action. Okay. So that's going to be the cheerleader with the pom-pom. And number 6 is going to be, figuratively speaking, the savages, the people with large action who are ready to start over. Okay, how you start over is you get back to the basics. Okay, like I used to tell my salespeople, Carlos Hernandez, Tino, Peter Wong, every time in business or whatever the sale was, if they couldn't get things sorted, I say, get back to the basics. Okay, because usually the basics was the platform of what made you excel. Okay, starting over is going to be a fact of life. Okay, new beginnings are not negotiable. Okay, so for me, it was when I moved from Toronto, Canada to California in the middle of high school. When I fought the system for something I didn't do. When I got the 2 biggest promotions. When I moved out of the comfort of my family's house when I was younger. When I moved from Rancho, Cucamonga, to Eastvale, California, to Huntington Beach, to Claremont, California. These are all new beginnings. Okay, so it's inevitable. It's non-negotiable. When I lost my grandma and grandpa, people my age haven't been through enough cycles for this to really settle in. So you might get this, you might don't, but the reality of the situation is don't be naive about it. Okay, don't be naive about it. Don't fall victim to all of this. The good news is that we are going to get through this. Okay, we are going to get through this. The bad news is it's going to take some time and the way of life is going to be different. Okay, mark my words. Okay, mark my words. Unemployment is going to drop the worst it's been since 1970. Okay, these are obviously real information. I know not everybody wants to hear this, but this is the reality of the situation. So put the pedal to the metal. Don't be a bitch about it, and control what you can control. Okay, control what you can control. Anyways, any information anybody or any questions anybody does have, feel free to reach out, and we're all in this together. If you need assistance from me, if you need a question with me, if you want to hop on a Zoom call with me, and anything of beneficiary that I can assist with, please contact me. All right, and I'll put the links below.